If you've been wondering when the M4 MacBook Air is dropping, I've got some great news. We finally have solid evidence pointing to a release next month, plus fresh benchmarks that show just how insanely powerful this Mac is. Let's dive in. Courtesy of Apple insider Mark Gurman, we now know that Apple has started prepping its marketing, sales, and retail teams for the launch of the M4 MacBook Air. Inventory for the current models is running low, always a telltale sign that a new version is on the way. Now the big question. Will Apple announce this via a press release or a full-blown virtual event? My bet is on a press release. In fact, Apple has been favoring press releases with event-style videos lately, moving away from live-streamed events, especially for minor refreshes. Remember last year? The M3 MacBook Air didn't even get a video, just a simple press release. Given that Apple is aiming for a more predictable release cycle, following up last spring's M3 model with an M4 this spring makes perfect sense. We now have Geekbench listings for the M4 MacBook Air, and guess what? It performs exactly like the M4 iPad Pro. Shocking, right? But seriously, we already know how fast the M4 is, so this isn't a huge surprise. The Geekbench test, recorded on February 23rd, featured a machine with a 10-core GPU and 24 gigs of RAM, running a special build of macOS Sequoia 15.2. Fun fact, back in December, references to M4 chips were spotted in 15.2's code, further confirming these benchmarks are legit. So, what are the numbers? The Metal GPU score was 55,516, putting it on par with the 13-inch M4 iPad Pro, but slightly below the M4 MacBook Pro, which benefits from a fan for better sustained performance. For comparison, the M3 Air scored around 48,000 to 49,000, so while it's a decent bump, it's not earth-shattering. Beyond the upgraded chip, we can expect some other enhancements, much like what we saw with the M4 MacBook Pro. The new model is likely to feature a center stage camera, which means the webcam will follow you as you move, making video calls much better. Desk View will also be included, allowing you to show your workspace easily during presentations. As for the nano texture coating, it's uncertain, but since the base iMac has it as an option, the MacBook Air could follow suit. We might finally get new colors, too, since we've had the same shades for 2 generations. Apple is reusing the design for a third time, so this would be the perfect chance to introduce fresh, more vibrant options. The Air should feel fun and playful, unlike the more serious-looking MacBook Pro. The big change, though, will be 16 gigs of RAM as standard, which is already the case for M3 and M2 models, but still a game-changer for base models. Once the M4 launches, expect the M3 Air to drop to $999. However, with Apple running low on M3 stock, it would be strange to phase that out while still selling the M2. We'll have to wait and see. According to Gurman, the M4 Mac Studio was originally planned to launch alongside the MacBook Air, but it's now been pushed to June. That lines up with WWDC, which makes sense since creative professionals are the ones watching that event anyway. It would be nice if Apple added a space black option this time around, but given the Mac Mini didn't get any new colors, I wouldn't hold my breath. At the very least, moving the SD card reader to the front, like on the Mac Mini, would be a welcome change. Now onto some not-so-great news. It looks like Apple is once again struggling to produce an extreme chipset for high-end Macs. Way back, we heard rumors about an M2 Extreme chip, essentially 2 M2 Ultra chips fused together. But Apple scrapped those plans, leading to a pretty underwhelming Mac Pro refresh. It kept the same design, same performance as the Mac Studio, but with a higher price tag, and really only offered expandable storage, and even that required Apple's overpriced modules. Fast forward to today, and it seems history is repeating itself. The M4 Extreme, which could have had up to 64 CPU cores and 160 GPU cores, has reportedly been canceled. Why? Apple is shifting engineering resources to eye-focused chips, prioritizing Apple Intelligence over an ultra-high-end Mac Pro. However, journalist John Gruber raised an interesting point. Apple starts developing its chips years in advance, so this cancellation might not be for the M4 Extreme. It could be affecting the M5 Extreme instead. If that's the case, we might still see an M4 Extreme later this year. Fingers crossed. That's everything we know so far. The M4 MacBook Air is just around the corner, bringing solid performance boosts and some cool new features. Meanwhile, Mac Studio and Mac Pro updates are on the horizon, with some delays and uncertainty around the M4 Extreme chip. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Are you excited about the M4 MacBook Air? And don't forget to like and subscribe for more Apple news.